Hello and welcome back, you guys. Welcome back to the Couch Potato. This is your host, Keiko.
And Jacqueline.
Thank you guys for coming back to listen to this week's episode.
Just a reminder that we post weekly every Monday, so make sure you guys tune into our podcast and give it a listen.
This week's episode is going to be our fifth one, and it's kind of crazy because I think we're actually getting better at recording these.
Yeah, definitely. It's going much smoother than before. I feel like the first few episodes, it was really cringy, and we just kind of stopped because we didn't know who's going to start talking and when the other person's going to stop.
Yeah, our telepathy is better. We're not talking over each other as much anymore. And sometimes it's hard to because the connection, so we don't know. It could just be a lag. But in general, it's going so much smoother. For this week's episode, guys, we kind of wanted to just take the time to catch up with one another because me and Jacqueline, we haven't been talking in I'd say over a week. And no, we don't hate each other all of a sudden, but our schedule just have been really conflicting with one another, and it kind of makes it difficult for us to find a good time to record for you guys. But I think quite a few things happened on both of our ends within the last week. Jacqueline, I know, you guys had a little anniversary with Mitchell, right?
Oh, yeah, we did. We celebrated March 1st.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so wait, how many years? Because if I do the math, I'll probably get it wrong, but I know you guys have been together for quite a while.
It was our 5th year together, since we started dating and everything.
Oh my gosh, that's so long. But I mean, it makes sense because I met you. See, that's a whole nother thing because we don't even know, like you guys, we don't even know exactly how me and Jacqueline met, but I don't even really know how you and Mitchell met either. So, yeah, let's do that story because I just want to know this. How did you guys even meet each other? Was it at school? Like what?
Did I not tell you this? I feel like I did.
I feel like, okay, honestly, I feel like you did, but I forgot. I don't know, who knows, but this would be a
Maybe.
juicy story.
I
Okay, go
feel
ahead. Tell me.
I maybe I did. I'm not sure because I told it to maybe to quite a few people, but I'm not sure who I told it to. So maybe I didn't. I don't remember who exactly I told this to. But yeah, it was kind of shady how we got together. I would say that. Um, but we did meet through friends. So what happened was, if you remember, when I in college,
Mhm.
we were doing apartments after dorming our second year. So it's still the apartment is still related to UCI, so they help you with the rooming situation and everything. And then my roommate had some trouble, so she had to drop out of school. So I ended up getting a random roommate. And then so my roommate and I, we got to know each other. We were close, but she's always like, oh yeah, my friends who I go to church with live right upstairs from us. And then she said my other friend also lives upstairs, kind of within the same couple steps away from the upstairs neighbor. So then I'm like, oh, that's so weird because then you kind of can hear the noises from upstairs. We're on first floor, and then my roommate's friends live up on the second floor. And then she always be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go upstairs and hang out with the guys. So they were the guys. And then she had another friend that lived down the hall too. So they would kind of hang out at the guys' place, and they met through church and everything. So sometimes she'll ask me, oh, do you want to go meet them? And I'm like, no, antisocial Jacqueline right here, didn't want to meet these people. So, I moved in September, for school. I didn't come around to meeting Mitchell until January. So it was months of my roommate going upstairs and hanging out with the guys and then with her friends.
4 months.
Yeah, it was wild. But then I hear them. I'm like, oh yeah, your friends are kind of loud today, I can hear them stomping or something like that upstairs. So she would I'll message them. So I kind of ended up getting to know some stories about the guys upstairs through her when she and her friend would come and talk about it in our apartment. So my roommate has a friend, right? So and then there was they know the guys upstairs. So they all go to church, except for Mitchell. Mitchell doesn't go to church.
Wait, So your roommate, let's call her, let's like put a name to this because there's too many like friend of a friend of a
I
friend.
know. Let me go.
Just give
Um,
me a random name, the girl.
okay. So I'll just say roommate because there's only one roommate, roommate A,
Okay.
and then who has a friend. Okay, friend R. Okay, that's
Okay, so
roommate
R.
A and friend R. So
Okay,
they're
and they're
friends.
both girls.
Yes, and then they know
Okay.
the apartment of guys upstairs that they go to church with,
Okay.
and that's actually like there's four people upstairs that live upstairs with us. So one of them is Mitchell, and he has his roommate that goes to church with my roommate A,
Hmm.
and then like there's four, basically there's four guys, okay, upstairs.
Okay.
Anyways, friend R, that is my roommate A friend that they've known
Yes.
since first year through college. Um,
Hmm.
friend R actually liked Mitchell. She actually liked Mitchell
Mm.
first,
Wait,
and then
wait. You know how you told me you heard stories of like upstairs where Mitchell lives? Like they would come back, like roommate
mhm.
A and like friend R would come back and talk about upstairs. Did they ever have a story about Mitchell?
I didn't really know much about it, but I'll hear like other stories. Like they would just say the guys. They
Oh,
don't
in
really like put
general.
a
Okay.
name to it. Yeah, they'll say the guys. But then
Because
like
I was
I
like, did you hear
one
anything
day
about Mitchell? Like tea.
I know, so I didn't really hear because they kind of just say the guys, and that's how like they would
Hmm.
associate that. They're like, oh yeah, the guys, and then one of the guys, like they just kind of say it like that.
Yeah,
So I
like
never
guys.
really
Yeah.
thought really get a name. Like I mean, I kind of hear names, but I wasn't really interested, so I didn't listen. So I got to know friend R through my roommate, because then she would come, and then we would hang
Hmm.
out in my apartment. And then one day I was just like, we were just kind of like hanging out, and I was just like so curious, and I'm like, oh, friend R, do you like any of the guys upstairs? And then they were just they were just like, yeah, she does, like she likes Mitchell. So I was just
Huh.
like, huh, wait, let me check out his Facebook, like pull up the
Hmm.
Facebook, and I was just like, interesting.
Facebook. Oh my goodness.
And then they're I know, and they were just like, oh yeah, do you want to come and go hang out with them? And I was like, I'm more tempted to hang out with them now because I was like, I'm curious to see who this guy is. And I'm kind of
Hmm.
curious to see, and I was bored that day, and I was like curious to see um the guys that I've been hearing about for like 4 months now, and they live right upstairs. And I was like, it's good
Hmm.
to put a face to a name instead of just kind
You're
of like
like,
hearing about them.
finally,
Yeah, and I was like,
finally
okay,
need to just go see who these people are.
yeah. So I was like, okay, let's go upstairs, like let's hang out with them, and then we'll see.
Hmm.
So I came upstairs with my roommate and the friend R, and then we entered, and there was only three of them there at the time. But Mitchell was one of them, and I know he was washing the dishes, and then I just walked in, and
Nice.
then I was just like, huh. Oh yeah, and I kind of met one of them, right? Kind of like briefly when we were at like the office doing something. So I kind of briefly met one of them. But
Hmm.
I remember meeting Mitchell, and I was like, huh, he's kind of cute. And that was my first impression of him. Okay. So then
Ew.
I was just, but he was so quiet. So like
Hmm.
it was kind of awkward because I think they were trying to like talk, but then they all were just so awkward. All the guys were so awkward. And then I remember just sitting there, and then I was like, okay. And then and I'm a pretty talkative person, so I knew it was kind of awkward. So I was trying to get past the awkwardness. And I was like, so I was talking like extra. But then after it was like a quick like it was like an hour or two, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back downstairs now because it was just too awkward for me. I couldn't deal
Hmm.
with that stuff anymore because I was like, they're just all so awkward. I don't want to deal with them. So I went
Hmm.
downstairs, and I remember like Mitchell was all like, when we were talking about the story, he's all like, yeah, I just keep thinking like, wow, she talks a lot.
So
And I was
sad.
like, I know. But then ever since like finding out like friend R likes him, it was like she was
Hmm.
more comfortable talking to me about it. And then like we made like a group chat and everything with another friend.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
she'll be like, oh yeah, like oh, Mitchell's so cute today. Like it was just like a little chat
Ugh.
for her to kind of like talk about that. It was like, oh man, he's so
Ugh.
cute today. And then it was like, all right, like it was just like
It was
it was just
too
like a little
funny.
group chat. And then
It was like everyone. It was a Mitchell. Like the chat name was like, "We love Mitchell."
no, it
Sad.
was just like a group chat for us, for like all of us. There was another friend too, but she doesn't come very important to this story. So it was just
Mm-mm.
like a small group for like us, and then we were talking, and she would bring it up. But yeah, so then after that, like I decided to go upstairs a little bit more. So then I
Mhm.
went upstairs like a little bit to like play games and things like that with the guys, and then I got more comfortable with them. And then Mitchell started messaging me on Facebook. So he would message me and we would talk. And then
Wait,
and during that time,
who messaged you first?
I think it
And
was
how
Mitchell who
did you
messaged me.
like? Did you friend request him first? And like how you know what I mean? Like how did you guys even become friends on Facebook to message each other?
I think we just added each other. I think I just like added him. It was like no problem because I knew him, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna add.
Hmm.
It wasn't like anything, but then I think he messaged me first, from what I
But
remember.
he
I
said
remember the.
like, "Hey."
I think so, but I think it started like because I was actually one of the few that has a car during that time. It was me
Mhm.
and friend R who has a car. Have a car. The
Oh.
others didn't have a car. So then, like, if we need to go anywhere, it was
Oh.
like we were driving. So then, like, I think
Yeah.
he wanted to go to Guitar Center. So he asked me, he was like,
Oh.
hey, do you like, it was something like along like, do you mind driving me to the Guitar Center or something like that? And then I
Mhm.
was like, oh, yeah, like, I know exactly where there's one. And it's actually the one um, near like my city, my home city. So I was like, sure. And then, like, we kind of planned that and scheduled that. And then we of course invite the others, and then like my roommate came along and everything, and then like we just got more comfortable messaging each other about things. And
Did
then
friend R come too?
no, she didn't come that
Was
time.
she hurt that Mitchell asked you for the ride and not her? Because I can see how she can already be like, wait, why did he ask you? Why didn't he ask me? I've known him long. You know what I mean? Like,
No, because they're kind of awkward with each other.
oh, okay. Like you're more like assertive. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it was just,
did Mitchell
yeah,
even
I
know that she liked him?
not at that
Because they were
time.
so awkward. Oh.
Not at the time. I just so we started messaging each other about things, and
Mhm.
then like I start catching feelings, but then I felt really bad about it because I was like, oh no.
Oh.
But then the thing is, she liked him, but she didn't do anything about it. Like she was just very like on the side and kind of like a crush kind of thing. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like
Like she didn't act
wouldn't.
on it.
Yeah, she didn't really even talk to them. Like I think when they talk to each other, it's about the Korean class that they have together, and that's about it. About the homework assignments.
Mm.
There was
He took
nothing else that they
Korean.
were. There was nothing else that they really talked about, and so that's why like when she would ask him is like the most is like to study with her and then to
Mhm.
help her with her Korean homework or Korean test that's coming up, and then that's what they would do, but they wouldn't really talk about anything else, and then like really random and really awkward, like whenever like you hear them talk, because Mitchell
Mhm.
is already quiet, and then she was kind of like shy quiet too, and then she wouldn't really say anything. So then like there are times when like we go out to eat and we try to sit them together. So
Mhm.
many times that happened, we're like, okay, oh my god, put friend R with Mitchell together, so that they could talk and everything, but nobody would say anything, and it would just like go
That's
by
so
like
weird.
really quiet. It went on for like that for like a month, and then like
Mm.
what happened, it was also our parking lot situation. Like it wasn't close to the apartment. We actually had to like walk like
Mhm.
a block or two away to park our car and then walk
Jeez.
back to the apartment. So many times like I'll tell him like I'm going somewhere, and then he'd be like, oh, like, do you want me to walk you back, because it's like sometimes late. So then he would meet me
Mhm.
in the parking structure, and then he would walk me back um
Oh.
to the apartment and everything. So we did that a lot. And then one night I went home to hang out with my friends back home, And then I came
Mhm.
back pretty late. I came back at like past midnight. It was like 1 or 2, but he was up, you know. And then I was like, yeah, I'm on my way back. And then he was like, oh, you want me to walk you? And I'm like, sure, you know. So then I picked him up.
Aw.
And then I go park the car, and then we walked
Mhm.
back. And then
Mhm.
I was just like, I remember having this conversation with my friends before because I was just like, I don't know what to do, you know, because I'm catching feelings, but at the same time, like I feel really bad because like friend R liked him first. Um,
Mhm.
and then on the way back from the parking structure, he was all like, "Hey, what's going on with us? Like, what's happening here?" You know? And I was just like, "Ooh, I don't know." And it was just really off because I was like, well, it wasn't awkward, but I was just saying like I just felt really bad because I didn't know what to do, and I was like, you know, I do like you. It was just I have a situation going on right now that I need to figure out, and I will get back to you.
Mhm.
Then like I
So
told
you
him
didn't
that,
even
and he
tell him. Oh, you did tell him you liked him back,
yes,
but you're
and then
just
I was like,
conflicted.
yes, I was like, I have a situation. I'm gonna figure this out, and then I will let you know. And then I don't know. So then I went back, and then I was like to my roommate, you know, because my roommate's kind of like the middle person between me and friend R. So I was like,
Mhm.
you know, oh, you know, what should I do? And she's all like, you know, I don't think you did it intentionally. And she was like, oh, and the thing is, even though she liked him, she had liked him for a while, but she doesn't really do anything about it. It's more like a crush
Mhm.
on the side, and she kind of be like, "Oh, he's so cute," kind of thing on the side, but she's not really acting on it in any way for like months. You know, they've known each other for like over a year, and she
Mhm.
hasn't done anything about that. And then whenever you put them together, they're just so awkward. Like other people
Mhm.
could see it, and she's like, I don't. And then my roommate was like, I don't have any, like, I'm not saying like you're a bad person, like it's not bad or anything, it's just, you can't help who you like. So she has no problem with that, but I was like, I don't know how to approach like friend R about this. And she was like, I think you should just let her know, and I think she will understand. And then she went into like the Bible stuff with me, and she's like, it's all about forgiving. And I'm like, okay, all right, moving on. Okay.
You're like, cut it, cut it, cut it. I get it.
Okay, all right. So then I was like, oh, I was pushing it aside, and then a couple of days later, I texted her. I was like, hey,
Mhm.
can I talk to you about something? And then she's like, oh, what? And then I'm like, so I I like Mitchell, and I feel I'm so sorry. I know you like him too, and yeah, I didn't want to hurt your feelings about that. And then she was
Mhm.
really sweet about it. She's like, I mean, as long as you two are happy, that's okay with me. And then, so she was really sweet
She's
about it.
lying. She's
She was
lying. She
like,
was
oh my God, I
probably
have
so
drama about
hurt.
that. I have drama about that too for
I
you.
mean, of course she's gonna say that. She okay, I don't want to be mean, but it's not like she lost in the situation, but she should have acted like you said, she should have acted on her feelings, but she kind of treated it as like, oh, he's cute and that's about it. It's not like knowing Mitchell, it's not like he's gonna do all the work. You know what like he's not gonna keep wanting to talk to her. It's like it's kind of up to her in a sense. And then in the case with you, it just seems like he actually, not to be rude, but liked you more. That's why he, made the effort, like, hey, I'll walk you to your car, I'll do this, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't even want to study with that girl. Like, I think he liked in a way your like initiative, not even that, but like just you. He just liked you as a person better. That's kind of
There is
what
a
sucks.
personality clash with those two. I don't know if they wouldn't have end well together, but it was such. Anyways, I'll tell you about the drama about that in a bit. So then after that, I
Okay,
felt
so
a little
she
better.
said that. Mhm.
Yeah, so I felt better. So then I didn't say anything to Mitchell about it because I didn't want to like expose her crush and
Yeah.
everything. Um, but we kind of made it official like probably like a week or two later after that.
Dang, y'all moved
Yeah,
fast.
we were just like okay. And the thing is, I wanted it on Leap Day, so it was
So you
like
guys didn't have to celebrate every year.
no, I thought it was just like a nice day for the anniversary, and I was like, because I was gonna wait, and then I
Mhm.
was like, no, let's make it official today kind of thing. Because I was like, I like today's date. Because I was like, I mean, there's no point. Like, I knew, like, even if I wait a couple of weeks, it's going to just be the same. Might as well do it
Mhm.
now, get the date, and then we'll continue
Mhm.
dating. But, because at that point, we were, like, unofficially official.
Mhm.
So it was like, okay, like we were like dating. So it was like, okay, I'll make it official. Um, but
Wait, so you
yeah.
said they would make it official. Mitchell said he'll make it official then, or you said you just want to use the day to make it like? Was it like a proper like? Okay, will you be my girlfriend? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I asked him
Ugh.
because
And he's like,
he
yeah,
was
sure.
kind of like waiting for me to deal with that situation. And then sometimes I was like,
Oh,
oh,
so
I'm
the ball
still
was in
working
your
on.
court.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, oh, like I let me figure this out. So then I kind of was just like putting it off. Um,
Mhm.
and then finally, when I got that set up, I was like feeling better. So I was like, okay, like, and by then we were still like in contact for like during that time. So then
Mhm.
we decided, I was like, okay, let's make it official. And that's what happened. I know, I feel like we missed out on like that before making it official dating.
Mhm. I mean, it's okay though, because like you said, like you guys know it was gonna happen. It's just like you just did it already. Like, so what? You guys are still together now, 5 years later. I
Yeah,
thought you wanted it on like a leap day, so you didn't have to like, so you guys would actually only have been together for like 2 years instead of 5.
no. So now it's like, oh, we celebrated March 1st, so the day after.
Interesting.
So we don't do
Interesting.
it. We celebrated March 1st for that. Anyway, I thought all is good, but I didn't really talk to her as much anymore. And then I felt really bad about it. But then after, what is it? After she graduated and after like we graduated, she unfriended me on Facebook. She unfriended Mitchell on Facebook. She unfriended my roommate A on Facebook. And then she just disappeared from our lives.
Wow.
I know.
I'm surprised she hasn't like messaged like Mitchell, but that's actually good because like we don't need that like drama. But like I'm surprised. Like she didn't just like do it all of you guys but Mitchell and then like try to shoot her shot. Like she's just like bye, I hate everybody.
I know. It was so weird. But yeah, that was
So she's
that.
gone. She's out
Yeah.
of the picture. Poor girl. She's probably happy now. But honestly, I can't believe that it's been that long since we've known each other and we're only getting close like this year. But overall, that was a pretty interesting story. It wasn't like a boring meeting story. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Next time we'll talk more about you and all the juicy stories you have. I'm sure you have a lot of it. But thank you
Mhm.
to all of you listening to how I was so shady back then and was a backstabbing friend to get my man, okay? But overall, I think everyone's happy now, so that's all that matters.
Uh, well, okay, I guess next week I'll have to spill all the tea. I mean, it's not really tea, but I just love calling everything tea. So, anyways, before you guys leave, please, please, please don't forget to subscribe and make sure you guys like this video down below. And if you guys haven't already watched our previous videos too, that being said, we will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.